Hi crafters, today I'll be showing you 2 methods of joining your granny squares together. Enjoy! Before we start, I'd like to point out that there are different ways of joining your squares. You can either use a crochet hook or a tapestry or darning needle. This is a needle that has a blunt end, usually used in crochet or knitting. I'm going to use white yarn to make my join, just so that it can be colorful and cute on our squares. I have many squares to illustrate these different joints. You can use any granny square that you'd like. There's so many different types of granny squares. So this is just a simple one that I've made. This square is the same square that I used to crochet the Heartful Hilda granny square blanket. I'll link the video up there. Also, I used the mattress stitch with that blanket. The mattress stitch is invisible and it uses a darning needle. When joining squares, I like to start off with a slip stitch. What we'll do is pick up your squares that you want to join and just go right into that corner with the right sides on the outside, that is the wrong sides facing each other, and the right sides on the outside. And what you'll do is cut off into that corner and yarn over, pull up a loop, chain one. This is the way I like to start my stitches. Then I'd like to work on the back loops of my stitches. So this is where I'm going to join my squares together using single crochet. So this is the back loop and the other back loop. Just insert your hook in between those loops, the front loop and the back loop. You can see your stitches have sort of V's. So the one that is away from you, that is the back loop. The one closest to you is the front loop. So the back loop on the granny square facing you is next to that next loop. And with this join, you have a raised line on your granny squares. Gives such a nice textured look. This is just for effect. There are other ways. There's a flat stitch. It doesn't have raised loops like this one. So just single crochet all along, remembering to just single crochet into the back loops only, and don't pull too tight on your loops or your work will work. Now, 2 stitches at the corner, make your back on your back loop. And the next one. Yeah. So just joined my first 2 sets of squares. It's very textured, gives a great effect because it's raised. So next we're going to move on joining our next set of granny squares, making sure that you end your join into that last loop on the chain. So according to the design of my granny square, I have 2 chains at the corner. So my stitches are going to end on the second chain in that corner, leaving off this first double crochets over here. Moving on to my next set of squares, this will just join this way, and then we're going to join this other side. So we're going to start in that corner again on the back loop. For my corner I have 2 chains. I'm going to go into the second chain here to the back loop, and this one as well. The start can be a little bit tricky. Go into the back loops, then single crochet into the next back loop of that chain, and then the next square. I picked up the wrong loop, that loop, and I took this one. Again, don't pull on your loops too tight. Your work will work. I seem to be getting the wrong line. That again. It's in the corner. So this up. Right side facing outwards into that loop, into that back loop, and into that loop. Now for new loop, yarn over into the next one, the next chain. There you go. And once you've mastered that, you just keep going, into the back loop of the first double crochet. There you have it, and into this one. And it's easier when you place your granny squares together, that you can just get your back loops. I will single crochet till the end of my granny squares. Then we'll have made one row of stitching the join. And remember to crochet at the end of that square, the very corner. The arm at the corner, just make one single crochet and pull up a loop, then cut off this yarn. Done with one side, I'm going to do this other side. It's basically the same thing. It's not so complicated. It's a very easy way to join your squares, and pretty fast as well. Going onto that other side, start again with a slip knot, then into your corner. Make one single crochet and start single crocheting into the back loops, those stitches. Just the way you've done on the other side. With this type of join, you need to finish one side first. Let's say if I had six rows of granny squares, I'll join one side, parallel lines, then come and do the other parallel side. You can also join your granny squares as you stitch. As you stitch, you join your square as you stitch. I will make a tutorial on that as well. The back loops, this back loop of the chain, and to that next one. Then at the cross, what we'll do is just in so that you can skip over, then continue into the back loops all the way till the end. See how easy that is? Very quick and easy, and gives you such a nice textured and decorative join. Into every back loop, just the back loops, not both loops. Then once you get to the corner, single crochet, pull up a loop, and there is this beautiful join. I really wanted the contrast between, so that you can really see the join and how textured it looks. Really pretty. Then remember again, as you join, to weave in your ends. So in this case, I'll just weave it in later and cut off the excess. So this is the first one. I hope it will be easy for you to make, but it's the easiest join that I know, using single crochet stitches. The next join is the flat slip stitch join. This one, you can, if you use it in the same color as your granny squares, it will give you an almost invisible effect. You can still see the stitches though in comparison to the mattress stitch or the invisible stitch, but the fact that the yarn is in the same color as the granny squares, you will have a nice blend. I'm using this yellow, this pretty yellow, so that you can see. Again, we're going to crochet into the back loops only, and with this method you want your granny squares to face the right side. That is, the right sides face you and the wrong sides at the bottom. You can use the same color or a contrasting color depending on the effect you want. Working in the back loops, I have my chain at the corner, 2 chains there, 1, 2, then I have double crochets. To start, you will insert your hook into the back loop of the second chain. This is our second chain. It is. So you insert there, then also insert your hook to the back loop of the second chain. It's easy to work on this when it's flat. The first stitches can be a bit tricky, but no problem, get the hang of it. Then I've made a slip knot already. What I'll do is have my slip knot on the hook, and just to mention, while you're working this join, make sure that your yarn is at the bottom and in between your granny squares. I made a blanket using this join, using Macy and Ruth's granny square, bare granny square pattern. It was such a beautiful pattern to make, and the join was really nice. What you'll do is take that loop, the one in yellow, pull it through that first chain, then pull it through the next one. Then just pull on your yarn to make it a bit tight. So I'm done with my first join. The next one, in the back loop of our double crochet, is our double crochet, our first double crochet. So going into that back loop of the first double crochet, insert your hook and into the next one, making sure that your yarn doesn't go over the loop you've made. Insert your hook into the back loop of the next double crochet. Just going to make this a little bit tight. Good. Then next, yarn over, pull up a loop through all those 3 loops that you have. Let's do that again. Into the back loop of your first granny square, insert your hook into the second one, into the back loops only, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Remember, you have 1 loop on your hook, then you're picking up 2 loops from the granny squares. Yarn over and pull through all 3. It's making a flat slip stitch. The first one that we did was a single crochet join, and it was raised. This one is flat. So we have again the loop on your hook. Insert your hook into that next loop, yarn over and pull up. And is actually another favorite join of mine. I really like how neat it is while it's done. And it's also very easy and fast to join. The back loop and back loop. Yarn over. Keep going this way till you get to the end of your piece. That's my last double crochet. I'm putting the blue fine yarn. One side is complete. Out, please, and make it in a contrasting color or the same color as your granny squares. Turning your work around, making sure that your yarn goes in between your project and down below. Go into the second chain like we did on the previous one, second chain, back loop and the second chain. The best way you can tell where your chains and double crochets are is when you separate them, and then the double crochet has a head. So this is the head of the double crochet. You can see. Then our chain is the next stitch before the double crochet. So just pick up that, insert your hook into that back loop, just like we did in the previous row, so that our join is just getting up. Yarn over and pull through that loop through all 2, and just make your work snug. Then back loop of that double crochet, and the back loop of the next double crochet, my squares are tiny, but just find your yarn, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And the next one, back loop in the back of the second double crochet, yarn over, pull through all 3, then goes for the third one, this is the way it's looking like, really flat as well. So I'm going to keep crocheting till I get to the end or to the corner so that I can show you how to navigate that corner. I'm at my corner and I've made my last stitch into the double crochets. Remember we had left a chain stitch into the back loop of the chain stitch and the next chain stitch, yarn over and pull through. That's it. First set of squares is done. Moving on to the next, back loop of the chain and back loop of the chain, yarn over and slip stitch through, and the back of the double crochet and double crochet, yarn over, pull through. The same thing you've been doing, just continue on till you get to the end of your row. The last double crochet, back loops, yarn over, pull through. Then into your first chains, back loop of the first chain, yarn over, pull through. Pull up a loop and cut off your yarn. Here is the flat slip stitch seam method. Very flat, in line with the stitches from our granny squares. Decorative, cute and neat. Thank you for watching till the end. Watch out for part 2 on how to join your granny squares. Please remember to support my channel by liking, commenting, subscribing and commenting. See you on the next one, crafters.